order to save this family, I need you to start dating rich, eligible bachelors. Are you crazy?
Crazy horny.
Well, I've killed a lot of people, mostly accidentally.
You miscreant floozy.
That's Harriet Tubman.
Albert Einstein. Private Dion. The president.
How do we look?
Like two white women.
Did you say money? We love money.
There are so many desperate things happening here. It's hard to decide which is the worst.
It's ragtime.
Dodo!
Julian, what are you doing?
Enough! Ah! Garfield!
You selfish bitch.
How low can you go?
Hello, hello.
Thank you.
Here we go. Natasha Leggero, people. Come on.
So
That's
these
an
are
awesome little trailer.
employees.
Exactly. Yeah. These are definitely all. Yeah, they're definitely all
They're
sit-ins.
coming
Congratulations on another season of another period.
Thank you.
And there's going to be another one I hear. There's a season 3 that's going to be happening.
Yeah, we haven't started writing it yet, but yes.
So that's like a preemptive green light. That's amazing. That doesn't happen very often. You must be very proud of this.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So, people saw the trailer.
And stressed. It's a lot of work.
You just finished and you have to
Because
get
we
back
write
to work.
and shoot and then edit, and so it's like there's no time to...
You and Ricky Lindholm.
Yes.
Your partner, the series
The
creator.
blonde.
Exactly. So exactly, you get out of the edit bay and they're like, back to work. Comedy Central's like, make us more.
I mean, definitely there's worse problems.
Absolutely.
But, I just kind of want to sit at home and pet my dogs for a week or something.
Well, your dog is in the show, so you get to
Mayor Cutie, yes, she's in the show.
star of the show, I would say.
She's on IMDb.
So tell me a little bit about how the concept for Another Period came together.
Ricky and I both wanted to be content creators, and we really wanted to come up with a show that we could control where we didn't have to play prostitutes. Is this audience listening? I'm not sure.
No, they're dialed in. They're just wrapped with attention right now, I promise.
Okay. See, if this was my stand-up show, I'd tell them all to put their phones away. But this is probably part of their job to be on the phone. So
Exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
I
They're
can
just
handle it.
tweeting
Are they
out all
Snapchatting
They're
this?
getting those social media hits. It's hashtag Another Period. All that stuff is going down right
I
now.
get it. All right. What was the question?
The question was, how did it come together? How did the show come together?
Oh, right. So Ricky and I both wanted to create a show that we would star in, and I had these two ideas. One was it was like 5 years ago. It took a really long time because we had to we sold it to 2 different networks, and people would they didn't quite understand it, so then we paid for our own pilot, and just to show people what a comedy period piece would look like, because there isn't really one. And so, but yes, so I had this idea that I was like, what if there's a reality show, but we're the dumbest people in the world? Like, it's called Dumb, and we're just stupid, and there's cereal named after us. And then I had another idea that took place in 1902 that was a little more serious, and then Ricky was like, why don't we combine those ideas? And I was like, oh, actually, I've been reading about Newport, Rhode Island, and people act like there was this crazy socialite scene there that, is like America's Downton Abbey, and then we went to Newport and studied it, and then kind of based the whole show there.
So it's a mix of like a reality show meets the Gilded Age, Downton Abbey style show.
Imagine if the Kardashians lived at Downton. That's basically... See, they're listening.
Absolutely. They're laughing. Exactly. It's very funny.
I wouldn't call that
Funny
laughing,
concept.
but they are now listening.
So tell me a little bit about how you start writing this show. Are you researching? Are you watching Housewives shows? Are you watching Downton
I
Abbey?
can't watch reality television, but Ricky loves it, so I let her watch that, and then I just go to Newport and tour mansions.
That sounds
and
nice.
listen to the stories. And Ricky loves the Kardashians. She's very inspired by them. She thinks they're feminists, so I'm happy that she sees it in such a positive way, because she's right. Yeah. They don't use men, really. I mean, I guess you need a man for a sex tape, but they kind of have done it themselves. They do seem like very independent women who are very happy in the businesswoman role. So I think that's
It's a good to have that
positive
sort of different thinking on the show when you guys are writing it. I'm sure you're making fun of them, that she's sort of like worshiping them. So it like creates this interesting parallel there.
Yeah, you need to have all sides.
So tell me a little bit about this next season. I mean, we have some returning faces, we have some new faces. I mean, who are the people that, it's a large cast, it's huge.
We have Michael Ian Black, Jason Ritter, David Wayne, Brian Husky, Paget Brewster, Brett Gelman, Armin Weitzman. We have so many funny people.
Really funny guys.
And then some of our guest stars, Jermaine Clement comes. He came from Australia to come do a little part. It was so awesome.
Wow.
Andrew Reynolds is hilarious this year. We have Cedric the Entertainer plays Scott Joplin, so kind of cool.
Cedric the Entertainer, how's it working with him? So tell me a little bit about the set with you guys. You guys are all dressed up. Are you guys shooting in LA or are you shooting?
We shoot in Silver Lake.
Silver Lake, California. Okay, so tell me a little bit about what being on set during another period filming is like. Is it just chaos? Is it crazy? Everyone's dressed up in their elegant, evening wear.
It's pretty uncomfortable in a way, but it's good to be able to be able to wear the clothes from the period. That dress is like 100 years old. Like you're wearing these artifacts,
Wow.
so.
I can't imagine that's comfortable though.
No, it sucks. But it's, in a way it's nice because you just get used to this formal kind of thing.
And are you guys like taking breaks and just hanging out in your evening wear?
In our underwear.
Yeah.
We just take everything off and just
Nice.
hang out.
That's nice. And you guys have a bunch of great, brilliant comedians there. Are you guys improvising a lot, or are you just sticking to what the writers come up with for the most part?
I know it doesn't look like it because it looks so good, but it is a very low budget show, so we have to shoot everything, we have to block shoot it, which means that, one day you might just be in a bedroom. So it's like you do episode 7, episode 2, nothing's
All the
in
bedroom
order.
scenes, yeah.
Yes, so nothing's in order, so, everything, sometimes you only get 1 or 2 takes, so you don't really get a lot of improv in that, so we just really try to make sure the scripts are as funny as possible.
Exactly.
But then there's people like Tom Lennon, who was just born to improvise in
Reno
1902.
911, Odd Couple now.
Yeah, everything he's like, Wet Christmas, French, he just makes shit up all the time. Can I swear on this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, good.
Yeah, that's completely fine. So tell me a little bit about what people can expect this season, season 2.
Season 2, things are a little turned up, I suppose. And also
Turned up, all that stuff. Yeah.
It's turned up.
Yeah, that's the word, exactly.
And, things do get a little more crazy, I guess. Like, the first season, we did get into a cat fight with Helen Keller. But then this season...
She had it coming, though, let's be honest.
This season, we kind of reimagined... She did. We kind of reimagined some people from history, we were thinking of Harriet Tubman in the writer's room, because there weren't that many celebrities that were around in 1902, especially women celebrities, because women weren't really famous. So Harriet Tubman was famous. We were like, how can we, Harriet Tubman, we were thinking in the writer's room, we were just just trying to open our minds about it. There were so many people responsible for the Underground Railroad, but people only remember Harriet Tubman. We're like, what if she was an Oprah-style branding expert? And so she just knew all, she just branded herself. So then we kind of created this character based, it's Harriet Tubman, but it's that version of her.
That's amazing.
So that was fun.
How's it casting Harriet Tubman? Is that your role, or is that somebody else you have on that?
That was really hard because 90-year-old actresses don't want to audition. She wasn't 90. I think the woman we used, she's from Friday, BB Drake. She was really good.
Oh,
but
amazing.
We saw Friday and we're like, okay, if she can do that as Harriet Tubman, I think that's going to work.
Absolutely.
So we met with her. She came up to the mansion and...
Came up to the mansion. It's a casual audition at the mansion. That's amazing.
Well, it's the Paramore Mansion. That's the mansion we shoot at.
So tell me a little bit about the rest of the season. Is it... are there other through lines? Are there other moments? What are you guys going through? What are their characters going through in season 2?
One thing I really wanted to do, because going to Newport and studying these houses and what happened at the time, because basically 1900 to 1910, there was no income tax in America. So the rich people were living like rappers.
Sounds nice.
Yeah, they all had 30 servants, and people had no time off, and we learned about this servant strike that happened, and it was a huge deal, and all they wanted was 4 hours to sleep. And the guy was like, nope, I'll get 30 new servants. and he just got rid of and so it was like this huge thing, the strike at the Elms House. So anyway, we wanted to recreate what's our version of the servants' strike, and so that we've got that kind of as a through line.
That's great.
And there's so many different types. I think when you look at the British version, like when you watch Downton Abbey, a lot of people are it's part of their tradition. It's a society that's built from class. So, I polish shoes and my great-grandfather polished the royal people's shoes, and they, it's like a history. Whereas in America, we're like, our country wasn't really founded on that. So people don't want to serve you. Peepers, our butler, Michael Ian Black, is very invested in the family, but there's a lot of servants who are disgruntled,
right.
as they were
Absolutely.
in America.
Yeah. So the research sounds like it's pretty in-depth.
It's in-depth, and Jeremy Connor, who does Drunk History,
Great show on Comedy Central,
yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
He helped us conceive this, and he's the director, and he's very accurate with history. So if we I wanted to cast Nicki Minaj as Harriet Tubman, but he was like, no, she's 90 then, and I was like, okay. So we try to do the same age.
I'm a little upset that Nicki Minaj didn't play Harriet Tubman.
That
That would have been
be
amazing. That would be a great audition to watch at least. You should
I don't think Nicki
Minaj
Minaj would audition for Harriet Tubman for our Deep Cable show, but thank you for thinking that.
Absolutely, absolutely. So tell me a little bit about the writing process. I mean, you and Ricky, you guys go in the room. So it sounds like you guys are just spitballing. You guys are
we also hire a very talented staff of writers. We had some really great people working for us. Moshe Kasher, who's also my husband, and
shout out.
Jen Statsky, Guy Branum. We just had so many great, Joe Wanger. We have all these great writers who would, we would do kind of blue sky, it's called. So you just kind of, that's how you come up with Harriet Tubman as a branding expert. It's like, what's the craziest thing that could happen?
Right.
The sky's the limit, anything that comes to your head. And we'll do that for 2 weeks. And then all the ideas we write on the board. And then we have a board full of all this crazy stuff. And then we have to start honing it down and getting rid of things and coming up with, things that go with the things we like.
That's amazing. And are the cast, are they able to weigh in on their characters, that sort of thing? These guys who have these long, they come in, they come out, as the series goes on. But are they weighing in?
Well, yeah, because everyone, we're so lucky to have this cast because almost everyone in our cast is a comedian and also creates their own show. So, people like Brian Husky and Brett Gelman and Michael Ian Black and David Wayne, these are all comedians, and so we have them each in for a day, and they pitch us storylines, and we pitch them storylines, and so it's really fun like that.
That's amazing.
And on set, too. We come up with stuff on set, but usually it's done and
it's written and then you guys shoot it. How about Mayor Cutie?
Mayor Cutie, my dog.
Yes.
Do you want to know if she writes her own material? Is that the question?
Yeah, I want to know.
No, she just lets me put wigs on her. That's how she got the part.
That's what I was going to ask about is the wardrobe for the dog who's going through that.
That's our wardrobe woman. But yeah, it's Googling dog wigs late at night. Dark.
That's amazing.
Dark hole.
So tell me a little bit about how season 3 might work out. I mean, are you guys even
I have
putting
no
that together?
idea.
It hasn't even started. That's amazing.
I guess I don't know yet. There's a few different ways, but I don't want to say anything yet because I don't know. I haven't talked to anyone else about it.
Exactly, I got you. And you're on tour right now, I understand, right? You're doing some comedy dates?
Yes. I was. I'm done.
You're done.
I got married, so then I decided to tour.
Moshe Kasher, one of the writers on the show now.
Yeah, and so we're on a honeymoon tour.
Oh, nice.
So we're just going to the nicest places on the West Coast, and then if people don't live there, they can fly there. And
you guys worked it out so that your honeymoon is a tour. That's amazing.
Yeah, and we got the idea from Newport, Rhode Island on one of these house tours. We heard about this rich couple who got married and then went on a 10-year honeymoon.
Wow.
So then I started thinking about it. I was like, wait, why do honeymoons only have to last a week? Why can't it last
the rest of the life?
Exactly.
So tell me a little bit about these mansions in Rhode Island. When you go there, how is it inspiring the show? How are you guys getting around Rhode Island?
They actually have these, I will bike there usually, but they also have these, what are they? They must have a name, but they're you see them in tourist towns, they're little scooter, they're little scooters, but they're
Not segways.
buggies. No. You think I'm taking a Segway
I wanted to picture
historical
you on a Segway
mansion?
Yeah, exactly.
Or anywhere? No, it's some kind of I don't know, these little cute little buggies that look like sports cars, and we'll take those sometimes. Or like I said, I like to bike, and it's a small town, so you can kind of stay close and tour the places.
And you and Ricky, how's the road trip out there? Are you guys just staying for a couple weeks? Are you guys staying?
Oh
for
my
a
God, I'd
weekend,
love
or-
to stay for a couple weeks. It's so beautiful there. I mean, Newport, Rhode Island. If you guys haven't been, it's just
Very
you see
idyllic.
These beautiful mansions, and then rolling like green grass that like goes for so like what do you call them?
Hills,
No,
meadows.
like just tons of acres.
Oh, okay,
and then it
nice.
turns into the ocean.
Oh, that's amazing.
But it's very hard to explain. It's
Yeah.
definitely one of the most beautiful places in America. So,
That's amazing.
and it's still the same.
And tell me a little bit about how you got started in comedy. Let's start at the beginning. I mean, where did you grow up? When did you start doing stand-up?
I grew up in Rockford, Illinois. Thank you.
A lot of Illinois in
No,
the
it's
house.
like the city equivalent of that response. It's not very.
Shout out to the viewers in Illinois, exactly.
Rockford, like when you enter my hometown, they just erected a billboard and it says, "Congratulations to the #1 Mexican restaurant in Rockford," and it's called Taco Bell.
That's amazing.
So that's where I'm from.
Nice. So there's a lot of comedy out there, apparently.
In Rockford? Oh, you mean things to make fun of?
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. A lot of murders. If you find those funny. No, if you find murders funny, you would really like it there.
So, I mean, did you start doing stand-up there, or did you move from there to...
No, I mean, I basically, my whole life, I would just like stare at the clock waiting for my life to start. And I was like, the day I turned 18, I was like, bye. And then I went to college in Illinois and then moved to New York. And then I lived here for 5 years. Then I moved to LA. Then I started doing stand-up.
Oh, wow. So you weren't in New York doing stand-up. You were doing something else.
Yeah, I was waitressing. I think I was waitressing. I worked in a clothing store. I watered people's plants. I don't know. It was terrible.
Yeah.
I couldn't get a commercial agent here.
Wow.
It was so hard. I would wake up every morning, staple my headshots, go walk around, knock on people's doors. They didn't want me.
But you started in LA. What inspired you to start doing stand-up comedy?
Well, I was like, I can't take New York anymore. Everyone's saying no to me. So then I was like, I'm moving to LA. And so when I moved to LA, I just saw this girl I knew vaguely do it. And I didn't realize stand-up could just be like a woman talking about what she thinks. Yeah. I thought you had to be like a man in a tie talking about your wife or something. I didn't know any comedians. So then I just tried it and I liked it.
You went up in like a local club or
I went up at the Comedy Store.
Oh, you went up at the Comedy Store.
And it was still the best show I've ever done.
Wow.
But also, then I remembered, I was thinking about that. I was like, why did that show go so great? And first of all, it's because I didn't expect people to laugh, so the laughter just felt like these waves. But then I also remembered my hairdresser had given me a Valium. And then I had a glass of wine.
Great ritual, yeah, exactly.
So then I was like, oh, it was like a visceral, it was like an out-of-body experience because I just wasn't expecting people to laugh. And so, then of course the second time I went up, I was like, it's gonna be so great. It's all awesome. And I like just bombed.
Oh, wow.
And,
But you stuck with it and you met Ricky. How'd you guys meet?
We met just through the comedy. We actually went to Africa together because we were part of this this Bill Gates Foundation. We were comedians trying to make comedy videos about malaria.
Oh, wow.
Which doesn't sound that funny.
Yeah, that's not great material.
No, it was very hard, and we had a really hard time there, and so we kind of bonded, and but I mean, it was nice to go there and help, but we were very uncomfortable.
But what about meeting her? Were you like we could work together? What about that was a good relationship?
I don't know. It's interesting. I mean, I always think travel can help bring people close together. And I always, she would tell me about her hometown because we're from very similar. She's from like a place outside of Albany, and I'm from Rockford, and it's, it's kind of the same vibe: parades and fish fries and ho-hos, Doritos, like just that life of like working middle class, kind of thing. So I don't know. We just. Were able, and I also think, that's another thing. We really, in the videos we made for malaria, we really played off each other well, because I play more high status person in control, and she plays, like kind of like dumb follower type person. So I think like it's somehow matched, because you don't want two people who have like the same kind of point of view.
Absolutely. And tell me a little bit about having your own show. I mean, it's pretty uncommon in comedy to have two women that create their own show, make their own show.
It
and
is?
write it and fill it out. At this point, I think so,
Okay,
yeah.
good. How is it? It's fun. It's great. I mean, you're constantly striving to keep up the quality control that you want to have. So it takes a lot of your energy. Because if you miss one day, then you're like, wait, no, this is not what I wanted. So, and then also agreeing with people and, like having the two of us and then Jeremy as our partner really helps too, because he can break ties. If I want something one way and she wants it one way, or a lot of times what we do is whoever's more passionate. So if she's more passionate that she hates something than I am that I like it, she wins.
That's fantastic.
So we kind of have to trust that too.
Yeah. And I think it's great that there's like this history lesson in the show too.
Well, don't say that. These guys aren't going to watch it now. But yes,
Subliminal. It's like a subliminal history lesson, though. I mean, what are one of the more fantastical things that you've discovered about that period that you put into the show? I mean, besides the mutinies of the servants and.
What's one of the more fantastical things?
Yeah, that you've read while you were studying the Gilded Age. That sort of.
I don't know about the word fantastical. Like magical.
Interesting, compelling.
Compelling. I mean, there's so many things, but compelling. That's a lot of pressure. I can tell you some of the funny things.
That sounds good. That.
Well, like for example, we had Freud comes to visit because women, if they acted up, the husband would say they had hysteria, and so Freud would come and like masturbate you, and so that was actually a thing he did.
That's crazy.
And so we have that happens. Another episode, like the first beauty contest was between a cabbage and a bird and a baby. Like they didn't think humans should be judged as having beauty. They thought that was very crass.
That's
and then
crazy.
it worked out. But yeah, so it's like things like that from history you can just kind of use as comedy.
That's amazing. Well, I think we have some questions out in the audience here.
How's it going, Natasha?
I'm good.
Was there anything that that you wanted to include in the show but you couldn't because of like your budget?
I mean, everything we thought of, from going down Niagara Falls to me like having diarrhea out of a hot air balloon, like they were somehow able to. I mean, I think Jeremy, Connor, like you guys watch Drunk History? With Drunk History, they do like something like 30 sets an episode. So they're just got so good, and we had the same set designer, so I think they were able to do so much. I mean, yeah, we went to New York. Everything we wanted to do, I think we were able to do, but that doesn't mean next year we won't be able to do something.
Hey, so I was introduced to your work through a roast on Comedy Central, and you absolutely stole the show. My question is, what kind of preparation goes into that as opposed to a normal stand-up set, and can we expect to see you in more roasts in the future on Comedy Central?
Thank you. It's a lot of work. It's basically a concentrated 3 weeks. Like they tell you you're doing it and you have about 3 weeks, so then you start going around town. Like when we did the Justin Bieber roast, it was, well, I guess the James Franco roast was hard because it was all these like peers who were more famous than me, and I had to like go on stage and like make fun of them to their faces, and probably most of them had never heard of me, so that was like very nerve-wracking. But then there were other comics like Aziz and Nick Kroll and Jeff Ross and Sarah Silverman, so we would all be up to, in LA kind of working on these sets and like try to not hear each other's jokes because you don't want to like ruin it. And then like for example, I didn't have any jokes about one of the comics, and then I saw he had all these jokes about me. So then I'd start. And then it was also fun to see what local comedian, like all our friends, like there was a certain comedians will be on the dais with you because you make fun of everybody, and then people will just start emailing you jokes about them because they clearly don't like that person. So it's kind of fun to see who people don't like. But great. It's pretty much a close-knit community, and so we all tried to be respectful of, like, when you were running your jokes. But it's a lot of intense work, and you start off with like tons of jokes, and then you just have to keep doing them and doing them and doing them and see which ones are sticking out as the strongest.
And you met Snoop Dogg through one of those roasts, right? And he did.
Not only did I meet Snoop Dogg, right after my set, he was like, "You want to go get high?" I was like,
yes.
"Yeah." So then we like went behind like a trailer and smoked pot, and then I was so paranoid for the rest of the roast. It's not a good idea. But then I was like, what if he doesn't ask me after the show? Like I can't not get high with Snoop. And then Snoop actually recorded, so then we became friends, and he recorded the theme song for another
the rap.
period. We got high then too. So I guess
Fantastic.
I didn't need to do it the first time.
Congratulations on that. So we have one more question right there.
And he taught me all about the Snoop sound, but I guess we don't have time for that. All right. Hi.
Pleasure to have you here. So,
Thank
which
you.
other historical icons did you look up to, like a Harriet Tubman?
What historical icons do I look up to? I mean, I love Oscar Wilde. I love Edith Wharton. I love, you know, a lot of the Gilded Age writers are inspiring to me. I don't know. I don't have a lot of heroes. Is that bad?
No.
Okay. Snoop. I guess he's not.
There we go. Snoop Dogg is a hero, and it's another period, guys. It's on Comedy Central, and they can stream it right now and catch up on season 1.
Can they?
I think it's on Comedy Central. You can buy
Oh.
episodes. Yeah.
That's great.
There we go.
Stream it. Why not? What else are you gonna do?
Natasha Leggero, everybody.
Thank you,
Congratulations.
guys.